we are here again for week 4. Last week we saw a division week. Now it's back to the out-of-conference schedule. We've got some really cool matchups this week. A few lopsided all-time series records here. About 4 of the 6 matchups you see lopsided advantages. So maybe that means it's time for these other teams to start winning, catching up, or maybe they continue to get dominated. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be so fun. But we do have week 4 here, and as we saw from division week, you start to see separation within the division. Now everyone's shooting for those buys, so we know how huge those last week games are. But now we're back here on week 4. So let's get to it. Our game of the week. It's the number 5 Waffles versus the number 3 People's Champ here in our week 4 matchup, game of the week. Both teams come in at 2-1-0. Waffles come in off a tough loss to the Jaguars, while People's Champ come off a tough loss to Steakhouse. But People's Champ did manage the 3rd highest score of the week, 4th highest score of the year. So they're coming in pretty hot at 2-1. So this matchup, we got Brady versus Prescott. Brady, hello. Duke Johnson and Melvin Gordon versus Lynch and Smallwood. Like Waffles there. Not much to talk about, really. Melvin Gordon's pretty good. Lynch had a really bad week last week. And Smallwood, we'll see. With Sproles going down, he should get a little more action, but not a very threatening backfield there. The receivers for People's Champ, Hogan, Hilton, and Deshaun Jackson. I've got to see more. I got to see more of Hilton. Without the quarterback, it's going to be tough. He had a great week last week, but you don't get to play the Browns every week. So we'll see what Hilton does this week. Fitzgerald, who was amazing on Monday night last week, but just not enough for the Waffles, but was awesome. Jeffrey and Thomas, a very formidable trio for the Waffles there. It's looking to bounce back here in week 4. Monday night, we got the matchup of the tight ends, Kelsey versus Jordan Reed. Kelsey was garbage last week, winning the Minuteman Award. I expect him to bounce back and to be a lot better on Monday night. Look for a big night from Kelsey there on Monday night. It might be all that the Waffles need there to seal the victory here in week 4. Hawkins versus Bailey, Jaguars versus Seahawks. Good defensive matchups this week. Jaguars taking on the Jets, who surprisingly defeated the Dolphins last week. Jaguars are looking pretty good at 2-1 this year. And scoring a lot of points, and the defense has been pretty good. So we'll see. Should be a good score there for Mr. Levine. So the site has the Waffles favored by over 15 points. They have them at about 18 points. Maybe that's what's going to happen. I don't have it that high. I do have it pretty high, though. I have it at 9.9 for the Waffles. So a spread of 9.9 in favor of the Waffles to win this game of the week between the 5 and the 3 teams. And look for the Waffles to bounce back and go to 3-1, while TPC will fall again, dropping to 2-2. Next. And this second matchup of the week features the number 2 T-Bone Steakhouse squad at 2-1-0 versus the number 8 40 squad at 1-2-0. I did say number 2 Steakhouse. You're not hearing things. I really did say that. I can't even remember the last time Todd cracked the top 3 in the poll, let alone number 2. Man. So as we all know, Todd owns 3 championships in his history. He won 3 of the first 5, making the finals in the first 5 years of the league. But it's been a while since we've seen a good Steakhouse team since then. It's been a long time. But this might be the year. He's got a solid lineup. And this week he's led by Carson Wentz going up against the Chargers in L.A. Nice matchup there. Wentz should do pretty well. He's got Fournette and Miller in the backfield. Very nice tandem. Fournette has been one of those rookies this year who's been really solid. There's been a ton of rookie running backs who are all awesome. It's amazing how many guys are coming in and doing this. You just hope that they last. And they don't go out in 2 or 3 years. But it's nice to see this young talent coming in. There's a bunch from this year. Beckham and Cooks finally connected. Both connected last week, and they were awesome. They gave Todd the highest score of the week, second highest score of the year last week, thanks to those two with Cousins as well. Pryor as a 3rd receiver hasn't really done anything yet, but if he ever does, Todd's looking at a really good week, so be careful of that. Charles Clay, who Todd picked up off of the free agent heap before last week, had a very nice week. Let's see if he can do that again. We'll watch and we'll see. Lutz and Eagles both very productive for Todd. So it's going to be another good score for Todd, I think, this week. Now on the other side, the 40, they've got Jay Cutler there at quarterback. Against the Saints, they didn't do anything last week, the Dolphins, against the Jets, but now they're playing the Saints. So you would think that they're going to bounce back and have a high-scoring week, as pretty much everyone does against that Saints defense. Then you got Elliott and Bell. Ezekiel Elliott and Le'Veon Bell in the backfield. It's got to be one of the scariest backfields we've seen in a long time in the SAB, but they have yet to really both connect. If those two could connect, Pasternak is going to have a really, really high-scoring week. He's going to have a really scary team, because that is scary. But it just hasn't connected yet. So maybe this is the week where both of those guys get going and they just blow up. So we'll see. And Sammy Watkins, watch this one really closely, because last week he was targeted a bunch of times, had a crazy week. Goff is looking really good. If they start targeting Watkins every week like they did last week, that's going to be a tremendous pick for Pasternak, and that's going to be a really, 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 really good player. So keep an eye on that. Gronkowski obviously had a really good week. Hopefully he's not too banged up. If these guys can all get going at the same time, Pasternak's going to be fine, but we just have to see them all connect. So we'll see. Falcons D. All right, we'll see what happens. So the site actually has Pasternak favored by about 12, just under 12 points. I think it's going to go the other way. I like number 2 Steakhouse here as the 5.9 favorite. So all you guys betting out there, Steakhouse should win this one by a touchdown and go to 2-1, while 3-1, while the 40 will drop to 1-3. I wouldn't surprise if the 40 pull this out. I got to see Elliott and Bell do it. But right now, I like the Steakhouse by 5.9. Next. And our third matchup of the week features the number 9 Black Thunder squad at 1-2-0 versus the number 6 Wreckers at 2-1-0. First off, congratulations, Mr. Barco, on the birth of your beautiful daughter, Sienna J. I love that middle name. Thank you for that. I appreciate the shout out there. Very cool. But let's get to this matchup here. Now, the Thunder, we've been talking about them all year, how they actually look pretty good this year. They only have one win to show for it. Kind of got screwed last week with the whole Jordan Howard situation. Wasn't sure how he was going to play, how much was he going to play. Barco decided to put him on his bench, and he suffered because he lit it up, and Barco lost. So this week, he's not going to make that mistake. He's got him in there, and he's looking for another big week, which will be tonight, Thursday night, at Green Bay. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be tough, but he should get some points. Barco's got a nice trio of running backs here. C.J. Anderson, Thompson, who he picked up off the Redskins, who is technically the backup, but with the Kelly injury, has been getting a bulk of the carries, and he's been looking really good. So it's a good pickup there for Barco. And Howard, as we said before, nice trio there. Russell Wilson had a awesome week last week. Finally, he stepped up. It was great. So he's looking for much of the same again. The receivers, Davante Adams and Nelson for Arizona, it's kind of a wait and see kind of thing. Davante Adams is definitely one of Rodgers' main targets, but I feel like that can just differ from week to week, although he spreads it around to everybody. So Adams should get his. Bennett has not been as productive as probably a lot of us thought he would have been. I'm sure a lot of us were eyeing him at the draft as a new situation in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. We're like, oh, this is going to be good. But he has not been great so far, so hopefully that will turn up for the Thunder. Brian and Cardinals, sure, good, all good. Now on the other side, we got the Wreckers, who have Marcus Mariota as their quarterback this week against the Houston Texans in Houston. Might be tough. Houston's got a good defense. We'll see. Maybe he'll get the points. We'll see. He should. Hyde has been really good this year for the Wreckers, and he'll look to continue that in Arizona. Carson has been a great pickup for the Wreckers. He's going against the Colts in Indy, which should be a really good week for him. And then he's got Mike Evans, Demaryius Thomas, and right now Devontae Parker as the trio of wide receivers. Those first two are obviously really good and will probably be good again this week. And Rudolph, Zerline, and the Steelers. You can't ever count out those Steelers. So I got to be honest, these two teams on paper this week, they look really even. And The site actually has them as pretty much a tie. They have Barco as the .61 favorite. I do think it's going to be really close. Olinsky's not going to like my pick here, but I do think the Wreckers are going to take this one by a field goal. I think they're going to win by 2.9. But just be careful, because whenever someone has a baby or they get married or something, they always seem to win that week. Now, I don't know if it's like they're not paying attention and they just let things go and it just happens to work out, or it's just the luck. I have no idea, but just watch this one because that always seems to happen. So we never know. But I like the Wreckers by 2.9. Next, our fourth matchup of the week features the number 11 Bells at 1-2-0 versus our defending champ, the number 1 Tough Nut squad at 3-0-0. Let's just face facts. Mr. Luray has built himself one hell of a squad. It is intimidating. It's no joke. Kareem Hunt has been the most productive rookie this year of all those rookies, running backs. He has been amazing. Gurley looks like the Gurley we saw when he was a rookie. The last 2 games, he's been sensational. McCoy is the third back on this team, and he has not been great the last 2 weeks, but he's still shady, and he's still going to do well, and he's the third back on this team. So it's scary. Diggs, Stephon, Maryland, of course. We're going to love him. He's been great. Tyreek Hill, explosive. Maybe the consistency is the one thing with him that, he doesn't do it every week, but when he does, he really explodes. And Ertz has been solid. He picked up Sukop this week, who's a good kicker. He's scoring a lot of points. And the Bengals D against Cleveland looks like Mr. Luray is going to start playing matchups with the defense as well as his quarterback. That's another position. That's one position he doesn't seem to have nailed down. It looks like he's going to try to play matchups from week to week until he can find that steady guy to go to. Right this week he's got Carson Palmer going against San Fran. Palmer throws a lot of interceptions. He does. He has not been great the last couple of years, but he will have good weeks. Maybe this is one of the weeks where he's going to be good. Now on the other side, we have the Bells, who came into the season as the preseason number 3 team, I believe. Has since dropped. Last week he came in at number 2. This week he is number 4, and he's now dropped to number 11 after an 87-point effort last week. He is not looking good, but his team, it's not bad. He's got Matt Ryan at quarterback. He should be productive against Buffalo at home. Buffalo's got a nice D, but it is Buffalo, and it is in Atlanta. Jay Ajayi was not good fantasy-wise last week against the Jets. Look for him to bounce back, have a big week. Ty Montgomery is solid. He scores, so it's a nice little backfield there for Shaw. A.J. Green finally had a good week. Now, that was actually in Green Bay, so maybe that's good things for the Bengals, but we'll see. They still don't look that good. So if A.J. Green can continue to do that, Shaw's going to be okay. Keenan Allen has not yet to really do much, at least not on a consistent basis. Walker, Gostkowski, and the Broncos D, solid bottom 3. He's going to look for some points there, but it's going to be a tough matchup here. Anyone who goes against Tough Nuts is going to have their hands full. I don't expect Tough Nuts to go undefeated. But they're going to be a solid team. It's rare to see the site have one of our teams over like 125, for a week. They've got Tough Nuts at 133. So that just tells you all you need to know about that. Now the Bells should have a decent score too, but I think it's going to be tough for them. I actually have the Tough Nuts here as a big favorite. I have them as the 15.5 point favorite, the largest spread of the year so far. And I do think Tough Nuts will go to 4-0. I think Shaw will drop to 1-3. Luckily for him, the Denton, there's no one above 1-2 in the Denton. So, a loss may not hurt them that bad in that division. So we'll see. So I like Tough Nuts by 15.5. Next, the fifth matchup of the week features the number 7 Underhill's account at 1-2-0 versus the number 10 Funk at 1-2-0. Both teams coming off their first victories of the season, so good for them off the schneid there. On paper, both these teams they look relatively even. The site actually has the Funk favored by about just under 13 points. That's not the way I'm going to go. So not that spread, not that high, no way. But both these teams, they're okay. They're both 1-2. Like I said, They both got talent. It's good to see that Mixon seems to be the favorite there finally in Cincinnati. That's good for Leonard as he's back in the lineup. He's got the two rookie running back tandem with McCaffrey and Mixon in there. So we've been waiting for McCaffrey to kind of explode. We know he's got the talent, and everyone expects him to. So maybe this is his week. Maybe. All these rookies out there, it's about time. These guys stepped up and contributed to the rookie class here. DeAndre Hopkins has been back. He's back and he's good again. Solid. We haven't yet to see like that explosive week from him, but Leonard's hoping that maybe this is the week at home against Tennessee. Another good defense, but it's at home, so we'll see. Antonio Brown. He's Antonio Brown. He's awesome. He's going to be awesome again. He is. And he also has Big Ben. And they're in Baltimore this week. Everyone talked about Baltimore being a good defense, but they did not show it last week, that's for sure, against the Jaguars. So I expect more of the same from Pittsburgh. I say knock them down while they're down, keep them down. And I expect Pittsburgh to do that. So look for Big Ben and Antonio Brown to go off this week for tuna. Bottom three, Brate, Boswell, and Patriots, solid, decent, nothing crazy. Brate's okay, there's nothing great. But those points, are going to come from Leonard, are going to come from the quarterback and the receivers. Now the Funk have Drew Brees, who is at Miami, so hopefully that's a very productive day for him. Dalvin Cook, one of those rookies again. Feels like every team's got the rookies. The rookie running backs. That's how many there are. But he's one of the good ones too, so watch out for that. Frank Gore is his grandpa. So Gore is solid. We'll see. At Seattle, probably not going to be good for him. Jordy Nelson played last weekend, was great, so that's a good sign for Stork and the Funk squad. He was not too banged up, and he should be even better this week. Emmanuel Sanders, who he picked up off a trade from Tough Nuts for Baldwin. He's hoping that that'll produce some solid points for him. Jarvis Landry, still waiting for him to get going. Jimmy Graham, he's solid. Finally had a good week last week, so we'll look for that to continue against the Colts. Tucker and the Texans, very solid bottom three for the Funk, probably one of the best in the league. So both teams, again, they look very similar. There's not much separation between them. I do not agree with the site, a 12-point favorite. I wouldn't favor either of these teams 12 point. In fact, I think these teams are so close. I would love to do a pick'em, but as you know, I don't do pick'ems. I always pick a team. So this week, I'm going to go with Tuna as the 0.01 point favorite. That's right, 0.01 point favorite. Next. And our final matchup of the week features the number 12 Models at 0-3-0 versus the number 4 Jaguars at 2-1-0. The Jaguars now the Hartwick Division leaders after defeating the Waffles last week. Let's not try to pretend that they're actually a solid scoring team. They're not. They have not really scored this year, but they get it done with defense. They will shut you down. They only let up. They probably average, I don't think a team has scored over 100 against them yet. They haven't in 3 weeks. So look for the Jaguars to rely on that defense all year. Now, Jameis Winston will be leading this first-place Hartwick team against the Giants. Let's just see what happens there. DeMarco Murray and Devontae Freeman, two of the best fantasy backs coming into this year. A solid backfield for Joe Patown, definitely their strength. Crabtree and Tate, solid. Crabtree was shut down last week by Josh Norman, but this week he's not going against Josh Norman, but he is in Denver, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully he bounces back and has a good week. Alan Hearns right now is a third wide receiver. He's been okay the last 2 weeks. He hasn't gotten in the lineup yet, but he's been okay, so let's see how he does. Evan Ingram making his first SAB start of his career after Hunter Henry has provided 0 points in his 2 starts for Joe Patown, so it's time to get him on the bench and maybe cut bait overall. We'll see. Matt Prater, last week's reigning Bear on Cocaine winner with over 20 points. Don't expect him to do that again, but he is a good kicker and he's been scoring, so Jaguars are relying on him, a la Neil Rackers of 2004, whenever that was, when he was the Jaguars MVP that year. And the Packers D tonight against the Bears at home hopefully will provide some points. Look for Joe Patown to crack 100 again. Hopefully they can have a high score, but we'll see. Now the Models on the other side, the 0-3 Models have Aaron Rodgers and Julio Jones, two of the best players in fantasy football. You can rely on them from week to week to score, and they have been scoring. But the rest of the team has just not gotten it done. Crowell, Coleman, and Abdullah at the running backs. I don't know. Not very good. Not productive at all. Has not done anything this year. Don't expect that thing. Don't expect it to turn around anytime soon. Sure, they might get a good week out of one of them here, one of them there. All three of them at the same time. I don't know. It's not looking good. Ebron, Funches, nothing to write home about. Nothing great. Crosby and the Vikings, sure, it's a solid bottom two. They'll get some points there, probably a little above the league average there. Good, but it's not going to be enough for this team to do it. And they need to start winning now, or this season's going to go on, and they're not going to win. 0-3 this year. I think 3-10 last year. I can't even remember the last time they won. I'd have to look it up. I probably could look it up, but I haven't. But it seems like a while. So anyway, the site actually has the Models favored by just under 8 points. I can't favor the Models against anyone until I see them start winning. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars here. I know, kiss of death. But I'm going to go with the Jaguars here by 6.5. I like Joe Patel by 6.5. So that will do it for our Week 4 edition of the SAB video newsletter. I hope you enjoyed that. So remember, tonight we have the Packers in Chicago at Lambeau Field, Thursday night. And remember to get your players in there. Sunday's games, enjoy. Monday night, enjoy. Make sure you have all your lineup changes done. If you need my help, let me know. Otherwise, all be well. Enjoy Week 4, and good luck.